We got our happy faces on.
Yeah.
We're happy. We're excited.
Yeah.
Welcome to our new van.
And if you're first time viewers, I'm Mr. B and this is Mrs. B.
Yeah. That has been one question that we've definitely had, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always get constantly asked in comments, why am I called Mr. B? Well, it's because my surname is Beard. So instead of going Babe, Dave, whatever, it's just easier to say Mr. B, and all my friends call me Mr. B as well.
I sometimes do call him Dave, but very rarely. It's more Mr. B. It's just been a habit. So you know what? Sometimes I probably say it too much and whatever. But anywho's, as I say, we are here doing this episode live from our van, our new home on wheels.
Yes.
This episode probably, I don't know, in the way of YouTubing and keeping it real, you know what? And again, we're touching on comments that we've had, questions that we've had since the accident and everything that's happened.
And we're also going to cover the insurance aspect of what happens after a vehicle accident.
Absolutely. Because the number one thing, I'm going to touch on this first, it wasn't the number one, but it was probably the most annoying. I'm going to be direct. This is going to be raw and real. The most annoying comment that I had was, why are you filming this pretty much just as you've had an accident? Okay, yeah, I did think about it. The videoing that I did on the side of the road was all done with my phone because I had my phone in my pocket. And as we said, we weren't filming from leaving Adelaide to head back to Queensland. The reason why I did it was probably for ourselves to document it.
Yep.
And look back on it and reflect on it. But I've got to say, other than a few of the negative, I'm going to call you negative Nancy's or negative Nigel's, we actually had a lot of positive support.
Yeah.
My inbox has been flooded with comments of, we're going to get a DO35 now, we're going to consider this now because we long-term travel. Even a few weekend people that have just go out once a month or even once a year, I've had comments going, wouldn't have thought of that. So you know what? It's actually helped people. That video has helped people. But anyway, I'm not going to get myself worked up.
Right.
Over you go, Mr. B.
Okay, so I've taken some questions down from all the comments that people have put.
Let's do the insurance ones first.
Okay, let's do the insurance.
Let's do the insurance first because I know that's what this episode is about mainly, is the insurance and what we dealt with. So do you want to fire away or do you want me to start on the insurance?
So I'll let you do the insurance because you deal with most of that.
Yeah.
But just saying that I'm a stickler for rules. I'm a stickler for being inside everything.
Yeah, he's very.
So I wouldn't have left without full insurance, ultra care, roadside assistance, everything, because you always end up with that what if. You're broken down the side of the road, if I'd only had ultra care or if I'd only had roadside assistance, you know, and then I understand insurance is expensive and with the way that it's going and, you know, every penny counts, but it's something that you can't disregard and just go, it'll never happen to me, because you'll end up on the side of the road with a wrecked van or a wrecked car or something that's happened that's going to cause you thousands of dollars, and you go, if only I had been insured.
Exactly.
That's what I'm going to say about. I'll let you kick off the rest of it.
Number one question, who are we insured with? We're insured with RACQ. RACQ has looked after us for many, many years. We've had them pretty much for every vehicle we've had. Caravan.
Yeah, so RACQ is the Royal Automobile Club of Queensland, and each state has their own variation, but they are all interlinked as well. So it doesn't matter which state you're in, you can use it wherever you are in Australia.
Correct, yes. So we have fully comprehensive insurance on our Caravan. We had it on our Triangle. We had it on our Jeep, if you're up to date with all of that as well. And we had it on the Hilux. I have definitely got OCD on having fully comprehensive no matter what. It doesn't matter, no matter what. So what happened was, obviously we had the accident. Was it an accident? That's another thing. Was it a crash? Whose fault it was? We'll get into that later on. I'm just going to call it the accident. We had the accident. Everything happened so quickly. Tow trucks came, so forth. Then I needed to contact the RACQ ourselves to just find out what was going to happen from there. Generally, actually, I think it was the police that organised the tow truck for us.
Yeah, so
which was
when the accident happened, the Highway Patrol and the local police turned up with all the emergency services. When he got to the site and he seen that one, the car was in the tree, and two, the van was undrivable, is when he called the tow truck. He did make sure and said, is the Hilux drivable? And I said, I'll have a quick look over. There was no damage to the Hilux, but we did get questions. Yes, we did get it checked. Yes, I did have the pindle and the towing hook inspected and checked and tested, and all came back fine. So for those people out there who wondered, yes, the Hilux did pass the safety inspection and safety check as well.
Yeah, and we have had that since returning back to Queensland. We have had that done a second time, and yes, everything has been all cleared for the Hilux.
Yes.
Any hoosies. So basically what happened from leaving the site, when we followed the tow truck back to the yard, which I've got to say was so overwhelming, just seeing everything on the back of the truck. But anyway, I rang RACQ. They were really good, I've got to say. We just didn't know what we were going to do. So to get into it, basically what I have been pulling my hair out with this as well, and you're probably going to go, oh my goodness, is that all you were covered for? Yes, it was. We were covered for $100 a day for, wait for it, up to 7 days of accommodation for us to either stay where we are to work out the situation, or to use the accommodation at $100, that's 100 Australian dollars a night, to get us back from where we were, which I'm going to call it Murray Bridge. That Murray Bridge is approximately, and don't quote me exactly, I'm going to say an hour or so out of Adelaide.
Yeah, about an hour.
Yeah, about an hour. And, the accommodation sort of runs a little bit thinner from there, and the prices go up because it's getting a little bit rural. So we worked out that we had that. We were knackered. I know this might be a bit all over the place. So the accident actually happened at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning.
Yep.
We were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We literally had the best weekend with family and our grandson in Adelaide, and we were just chilling. We were ready to just chill. So we were definitely bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So yeah, it was a lot. We then decided we need accommodation. We found accommodation at Murray Bridge at a motel, which was great. Then we got the heads up from insurance that we didn't have to be in Murray Bridge for the assessors to come out, because they did tell me 95% of the time of where we were, an assessor won't actually come out. They will go off photos that the tow truck division in their team take photos of the van, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I'll just elaborate a little bit more.
I've probably forgotten a few things.
So once they dropped the van and the car back at the yard, I spoke to the tow truck driver and said to him, what did he think? Because he's the expert when it comes to everything. And he said, I'm not saying it is, but he goes, I'm 99% sure that your van is written off. And that's going from the fact that there was cracks in the frame.
Well, we had five splits in our chassis.
Yeah, and someone said, oh, it's just a wheel fell off. Well, no, he actually sheared off the entire independent rear suspension.
Yeah.
So that was gone. It doesn't look too bad from the outside, but once you're inside, if you watch the video, you'll see how much damage there was. All the cabinetry had been ripped away from the wall, everything. But we left it in the assessor's hands. And because we went back Monday, the lady that works in the office that actually deals with RACQ and the insurance in South Australia, she's the one who sends the photos to the assessor. So she's done this thousands of times, and she said from the photos, I'm going to tell you, 99% sure your van is a write-off.
Yeah.
So we did question, do we need to rate around in South Australia for an assessor? They said no.
Yeah, and the thing was too, like, what were we going to do there? And at the end of the day, what were we going to do anyway? Like, two scenarios. If they were going to repair the van, how long was that going to take? I mean, just for you guys, maybe overseas, in Australia at the moment, yeah, we've again having a little bit of a stockpile of vans since COVID. But people that are doing builds, like, they're looking at 2 to 3 years. And then some of them, and this is from us personally knowing people that have got builds in the process at the moment, then they've been contacted and said, oh, look, you've got another 6 to 12 months. So for us to do a new build, that was out of the question. Would we even find something? When are we going to get paid out? All the what ifs. You know what? We were emotional wrecks. We were just lucky that we were looking at each other and we were alive. So for that, and we did get questioned, oh, well, why didn't you stay and wait? There was no point. I wanted to get back to Queensland to be with family. You wanted to get back to Queensland as well. We needed to sort life out. So what happened after that was, yeah, we had to go to Bunnings. We had to go get tarps. Mr. B, the king of weather, he's like, Mrs. B, there's at least 100 mil of rain coming when we're about to hit Queensland. Yep. We had to get a trailer. Yes, I'm going to cover this one. RACQ did not cover any hire of a trailer, all out of pocket for the tarps, the straps, whatever. Yeah, I know it probably doesn't add up to a lot, but I'm going to give you just a roundabout. We're probably, at least with those few bits and pieces, around about $3,000 out of pocket, because we also had to top up on our accommodation because $100 didn't cut it. We weren't being bougie. It was the fact that we had to have what there was. We literally stayed in cheap motels because that's all that was available. Even in the caravan park in the Hay, is it Hay Plain?
Hay, yeah.
In Hay, that's all they had available. That was $150 a night. The reason why we ended up driving that extra quite a few Ks, and we did stop on the way, we're not stupid.
There's nothing in between.
There's nothing in between. It's such a vastness. We didn't have a tent, we didn't have a swag, we had nothing.
I'll just elaborate. We did ring a couple of motels on the way that were between Murray Bends and Hay.
Tailem Bend.
Tailem Bend, sorry, and Hay.
Yeah.
They had nothing. So they've constantly got workers, and then truckies pull in there and they don't stay in the rig, they stay in the motel.
Yeah.
So there
That's
was
why
nothing,
we pushed on.
There was nothing there. Would he sleep in the car and then wake up tired?
Exactly. So
Cause an accident that you've just been involved in, so no.
Yeah, so that's what happened now. So pretty much the next morning, again, I rang RACQ just to confirm, no, we didn't have to wait around, and what were they covering. I really pushed them. I had a beautiful lady that was helping me from RACQ. She was so nice. She said, look, just keep your receipts for the trailer, keep your receipts from Bunnings, hopefully in goodwill as a customer of over 25 years, just saying, that they may process that through for you. Did they? No, they didn't.
Also, just elaborate, just explain the thing about the...
Ultracare?
No, the fridge. The food that you lost.
Yeah, I'll get onto that. Okay, so with the fully comprehensive insurance, again, that's what we had. So it covered the accommodation. It covered us for $500 worth of content in our van. You can opt to have that as a higher amount, but your premium is obviously going to be higher. So when I say contents, it could be anything. It could have been the laptop, it could have been personal belongings, but I did claim $500, and we had, because we were so excited with the new van, we had so much food because we had a big fridge. All the food obviously got thrown out. So I've got to say, they did cover us for the $500. Again, did it cover everything? No. And then that's what I've included for around about the $3,000 out of pocket. What would have happened, I guess, if we were in Western Australia or, I don't know,
we would have
BNT?
We would have had to have stayed until...
Whole different scenario.
Yeah, it is. And it's just...
Yeah, and this is the other reason why we're putting this together is I want you guys to check what insurance you have.
That's
what are you covered for? Because every insurance company is different. The other thing I want to touch on is your value for your van. So the van that we had for 7 days that got written off was a valued amount. With RACQ, they only do agreed amount. It's not market. And unfortunately, at the moment, in most conditions, a market value on a van is going to be higher than an agreed amount.
Yep.
Because vans are, at the moment, at a high. You might be sitting there thinking, oh, I don't agree with that. However, the money that you get paid out on, I can bet your bottom dollar that you're not going to be able to replace what you had.
That's it.
And this is going from experience. We were lucky in a way that we had our brand new 555 insured for its valued amount. However, I just want you guys to check it again, because every time your policy gets renewed, it's going to depreciate. So if you're doing mods of doing changeovers of, say, from AGM batteries to lithium to more solar on your roof to whatever, chances are, God forbid, you ever are in the situation that we were in, you need to make sure that you can replace that van.
Yeah, you can contact the insurance and say, look, this is what I'm doing to my van. I'm adding lithium, I'm adding solar, I'm adding this, I'm adding that.
Yeah.
Majority of the time, they don't care.
No.
It's like if you put mods on your car. Oh, I've got, new tyres, I've got new rims, I've got a new bumper. They may go, oh, yep, we'll add that. But most of the time, and I bring them as well, when I've had other cars and that, and said, oh, look, I've just got new tyres, I've done this, and they're like, don't need to know.
But at the end of the day, that figure that you're insured for is all you're going to get.
Yeah.
So just saying, I just want you guys to check what your van's insured for. Call them if you're not sure, because we have had friends since we've been back, and they've gone, oh no, our van's insured for 130 grand, and I'm like, I want to see your paperwork. I want to see it. And guess what's happened? They've showed me the paperwork, and they go, guess what? You're right. It's agreed value of when I first insured it for 130 grand, but it might only be 80 grand now. You can't tell me that you can get that same van now for that price. And I understand that things depreciate. I'm not banging on about that, but I just want you to be covered. I don't want you to be out of pocket, because we have been out of pocket.
Yeah.
All right.
So one of the other questions, there was comments as well as questions about the other driver.
Okay.
Some people have said to us, well, how do you know it was his fault?
Yeah. I love that one.
And then basically just saying that we were at fault, stuff like that. So think, he was 19 years old. He was a red P plater. He was driving his mum's car. He was uninsured. I can't say too much more, as police are doing further investigations into the incident.
Yeah, you left out sort of the crucial one there without saying if anything else was going on with him. He fell asleep at the wheel.
Yes. So what happened is, as soon as the highway patrol and the local police turned up, they did an RBT on the spot.
For you and him.
Yep. Yeah, me and him. Right. I didn't want to go to hospital. I didn't think that the small pains that I had. I didn't know it was going to happen to the Hilux if Amanda and I both went to hospital.
Yeah, well.
So I signed the thing. The medics checked me over, said, "Yep, you haven't got concussion, you haven't got this, you haven't got that." I said, "Okay, well then I'm fine." Okay, but they took the other driver to hospital due to the fact of the way the vehicle ended up in the trees, and he left when we were there. As I was speaking to the highway patrol, because I had to give a statement, he said to me, I hope my partner got him on a camera admitting to the liability. Because he said there's been other cases where they've turned up to incidents, they've done this whole thing, and then the person's gone to court and says to the judge, it wasn't me driving the car.
That's just crazy.
So,
crazy.
He usually said, oh, why were you documenting it? That was two-part. One, because to show you guys, but also to cover our ass in the fact,
That's okay.
Cover our butt in the fact that we had some documentation. And I forget the name of the couple that were behind us, but they were lovely.
Yeah.
So they
actually, sorry to interrupt, and I know I've been told this one too, but I'm just going to stop for a sec. That they, as much as the driver, you know, I'm going to say he was in the wrong, because he was, we believe and we have been told we probably saved his life. That's where I was getting on that one. Him hitting the van at 130.
Guesstimate. That was what the local fire chief said.
Yeah.
Guesstimate.
Hitting the van at 130 was a better buffer for him than hitting a tree down the road a little bit further. And then you can carry on about the oldies, which I call them the oldies. And if for some reason you guys are watching,
Thank you.
It was so beautiful.
Yeah,
she even gave me a coffee.
She did. So they were behind us about 100 metres. So what it was, and I'll touch on this now with this question as well. People are like, why were you doing 95? Okay. One, each state have their own set of rules for what speed you can travel with a caravan. Example, New South Wales and WA, your maximum speed with a caravan, doesn't matter what weight it is, what size it is, it can be a little pop top.
Could be a triangle.
Is a maximum is 100 kilometres per hour, no more. And I don't want to sit on 110 just down the road when I know that 97, between 95 and 97 I'll get better fuel, or between 95 and 100 I'll get better fuel economy, and it's better for the safety of your van. Like an accident that happens, if you're doing 110, your reactions of turning the car slightly, braking is going to be exponentially increased with every K that you go over.
And they were towing their tinny, and literally it was a dead straight road too. It was probably, I'm going to say, around about easy, almost nearly 8 to 10 kilometres of dead straight road when this accident happened. But prior, Mr. B was like, because we're just, you know, chilling, driving, whatever, and he's like, oh, you know, he noticed that there was a vehicle coming behind us that was towing like a tinny, a little boat.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, they might actually overtake us. And I was like, oh, well, let them go, you know, if they want to overtake. However, they didn't. They just sort of sat behind us, didn't they? And another thing is when old mate hit the caravan, he then busted into the side around. The oldies behind, they actually had dash cam, and we'll touch on this one quickly too. They had dash cam. When I spoke to them, the passenger, the lady, she's like, oh my goodness, she was just checking that I was okay and everything, because her husband, who was ex-military,
as well, yeah.
He was helping Mr. B get the debris off the highway, because it was 110k zone, and she goes, we saw him just veer across your lane, and we just screamed in our car. So yeah, they got it on the dash cam, but he then went in between the back of our caravan that he just hit and between them.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
He could have killed them.
Yeah. Because the fact was, when he hit, I remember him sort of, and it's a split second thing that happens.
Yeah.
He sort of went past, and I had a massive rush of until he actually hit the van, because I thought he was going to miss us. From there, I've then stopped, but the van was parked half on the road still and half off the edge, and that road is well known for road trains.
Oh, they were passing. Yep. I must admit, they a lot slowed down.
So I did skull drag the caravan an extra probably about 40 metres, so it was off the road.
Yeah. But
then there was debris all over the road. There was, our tyre and suspension had been sheared in half. There was half a tyre, a rim over here and
that
over
was his
here.
tyre as well.
Yeah, there was bits and pieces all over the road. So my main concern then was the safety of the other drivers as well, because I didn't want a road train coming flying down there doing 100, 105, and then hitting something, him blowing a wheel or something, and then spearing into all.
Yeah.
Because other people on the other side of the road pulled over and said, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
But my main safety was our safety as well as then people on the road. So I'm trying to clear as much debris off the road as possible. And I will admit the emergency services were there within about 5 or 10 minutes.
They were really good. If you didn't see or on a comment or anything, it actually happened on the Mallee Highway, if I'm pronouncing that right, around about like a 15k off the main road to scoot across. Getting back to that as well, another comment, yes, we have ordered a dash cam for the Hilux. So yes, a dash cam is going in, definitely. So then that way we've got that.
I will say one thing about that. The new van does have a safety Dave camera.
Yeah.
Which I'm so grateful that the van came with that. And I've got to get that
just got to get it wired up
to our stereo system. And I think that's going to be a bonus for cars coming behind.
Just seeing that they're there.
Yeah.
So that's good. I'm going to touch base on Ultra Care. Ultra Care is a separate insurance that you have to your compulsory insurance. Ultra Care is literally if your vehicle breaks down. And again, it may differ from insurance to insurance of what Ultra Care they have. So I'm just quoting this information from ours being RACQ. Okay, so it does not cover trailer hire, any extra things because we had the incident. Ultra Care is got nothing to do with you having an accident, purely if you break down.
Okay, think of Ultra Care as roadside assistance.
So we will be keeping Ultra Care. Okay, let's continue with some of our other Q&A. So I'm just going to check what I had on here. Alrighty, so I love this one. You guys, probably more so for our viewers in America, keep saying to me, why do I call the Hilux a truck?
It's because the Hilux identifies as a truck.
Well, I just do. So when we had the Jeep, meaning Bruce, I used to call it the Jeep because it's a Jeep, right? Like, okay, I know that the Hilux, to be, I guess, more specific, it's called a utility or a ute. So I am going to try to call it a ute because no, I'm not American, I'm Aussie, and I'm going to try and call it a ute. So
well, it's not. My definition of a ute is like a Maloo or an old Holden ute, and this is a sports utility vehicle.
Anyway,
SUV, what do we want to call it? If I call it a truck, I call it a truck.
Yeah.
And don't get offended.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, just another question about that. I've had lots of questions about and comments about. You know, towing with the van and experiencing that. So I do actually have an MR license. I've had that for years and years and years. And I did tow a lot of equipment when I was in the army. And no, I wasn't part of the Royal Australian Corps of Transport, RACT as they call it. But yes, I have a vast amount of experience in towing and especially heavy stuff as well.
You were in the better part of the army, Mr. B.
Yeah.
The more exciting part.
Yeah, the cool part.
But anyway, we won't elaborate on that. Okay.
No, sorry, I was just going to touch on that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have asked me what my experience is in the military.
I thought it was going to be about our flag situation, but
no. So, yes, I did 30 years in the military, did 8 years in the Navy and 22 years in the Army. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Don't need to explain all the stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, so I did have a rebel flag up at one of our campsites. I got heaps of comments. Why the rebel flag? Well, the history behind the rebel flag is my ship, the first ship I was posted to was HMAS Hobart, and that's my hometown. So during the Vietnam War, they used to fly a rebel flag with a star and a kangaroo in the middle as their replenishment at sea breakaway flag. That used to get hoisted when you do that. But they stopped doing that after some African Americans complained about the flag, and so they never used it after that.
Yeah. But you know what? If you want to fly your flag, Mr. B, you fly your flag. That's okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we're jumping from here to here a bit. And we probably are, but you know what? Sometimes you forget things and then they bounce back.
Sorry,
what else did you have to say?
Well, no. So we did get comments about the weight of the van.
Yes.
You know, did the insurance inquire about the weight of the van?
Yeah.
Was your van weighed? So before we picked the 555 up in Geelong, it was fully weighed.
Yeah.
And the new compliance plate was put on to show that the weight, because it was slightly different from the factory. And then we were weighed and everything was...
So we were definitely under. So that question to answer, we were definitely under.
Yeah, so car, van, all weighed, definitely under.
Yeah.
Did they ask about that at the accident? No.
No, they didn't. They didn't. Not at any point did they ask at all. The other thing too with the claims department, we went through a specialised team with RACQ. I generally spoke to the same person the whole time, so I've got to say I absolutely love that. They called us by our names. They asked us how we were going. They were great, I've got to say. There was a few hiccups in the beginning, but they were good overall. And then remember when the assessor, actually I had the phone call because, you know, we made it back to Dad's, very overwhelming with the boxes and stuff. And I remember that moment that I got the call. Remember we were sitting on the boxes in the garage, and he called to give us the news of where we're going to get paid out, what was going to happen. And he was so genuine. He was a traveller as well. He had a motorhome. And he said, look, Amanda, he goes, I'm so sorry, you know, I feel for you guys, 7 days old, but your van has been completely written off.
Yep. And
you are going to get paid out a sum of, I'm not going to disclose it, but we got a full payout of what our van was insured for.
Correct.
And how long did it take? Because I've had this question and I'm so excited to tell you, and RACQ came through. It was 4 days.
Yep.
4 days, and we had a full payment in our bank account.
Yeah. Yeah.
So very, very, very thankful, I've got to say.
Yeah.
We were lucky as well. We and this was before the accident as well. We had lined up a house sit with some dear friends of ours, and we went and stayed at their place for just under 6 weeks. Yes, family loved having us back, and they wanted us to stay with them the whole time. But yeah, we went to the house sit and we came up pretty much every few days. Mr. B and I did go through a whole process of working out where we were going to go from there. And again, for you guys that have followed us the whole way, it has been an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
Hasn't it?
Yeah. I will say also South Australian Police, they've been amazing. They've contacted me probably about 5 times.
Yeah.
Since we got back, and every time they say, how are you going? How's your wife going?
It's genuine.
Yeah, and it's just basically, he said he needs to keep us in an update and in contact, because they may need us to provide a written statement, which are already done and saved.
Yeah.
But he said, worst case, we may need to come back down. It just depends on how the young guy goes in court as well. So he said, you know, we'll keep in contact to the final stage, and we'll let you know when that's sort of complete. Yeah. So.
And the other question as well that I'm going to answer, and we are going to be really direct about it. No, we're not suing him. We're not suing him. We're alive.
Yeah.
He's alive. We did actually see him the next day after the accident when we were clearing everything out, and yeah, he was a rattled mess as well. I won't say too much on it, but he didn't end up with a single scratch on him. I think from what we've been told, due to the fact that he fell asleep, his body was relaxed, whatever, but he's bloody lucky, got to say. Yeah. So yeah, we're just grateful. We're just grateful that we're here to share this video with you. So where are we going to go from here? I think it's a little bit obvious that we got our new van, and will we be travelling Australia, Mr. B?
Yeah, I had a question. Hang on.
Will we be continuing to travel Australia and seeing you guys every Sunday?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to touch on one other question.
What was that?
So the trailer we got, some people are saying, why are you only doing 80k an hour?
Oh, you mean the hire trailer?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So the hire trailer we got from U-Haul Australia, and it is posted on the trailer about 8 times. Maximum speed limit is 80k an hour.
It was very slow.
They do tell you when you pick it up, the trailer can only go 80k an hour, and you sign in the contract to say that you'll go 80k an hour. If you go over 80k an hour without an accident, not covered.
No.
I know it is a stupid rule that a trailer can only do 80k.
Yeah.
But We just had an accident. We didn't want to have another accident.
No.
And so we were cautious to the fact
We took it easy.
Yeah. And I'll, like I already mentioned, with their mail license, I'm so courteous to trucks. I will actually let them know when it's safe to go around. I'll slow down once they've got beside me. I don't slow down before, otherwise then they have to slow down. So I'll wait till they're beside me, and then I back off and let them continue on. Flick them in.
Flick them out.
Do everything. Like, if you're on the road, I'm just going to say this, you've got to share it with everyone else. So, just be courteous of other drivers. That's all I'm going to say.
Remember, we had the question about the radio. We have a GME.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, okay, we didn't have it in the Hilux. Again, we've just spent 6 months in Tasmania. We had to sell the Jeep. We got the Hilux in there. We had the GME pulled out of the Jeep because it was relatively new and we loved it. We did try and get it fitted in Tassie because it's one thing we totally say, and you said it in conversation the other day, if you're traveling, you need your radio.
And a common thing that we found when we were going in the outback, when cars are broken down on the side of the road, you just radio, say, hey mate, are you okay? Do you need any help?
Yeah.
And majority of the time we've got, no, we're all good, we've got something sorted. Or, yeah mate, if you could just pull over, just have a quick look. Or we've given people water.
Yeah.
They've been stuck in the, hey mate,
Definitely.
are you okay? Oh, yeah, okay, we'll pull over some water and some stuff like that. So number one investment.
We do have the radio installed in the Hilux. So
that's probably my number one mod that I had to have.
Yeah.
Was the radio.
Yeah. And again, we're actually going to do, because the Utes being kitted out at the moment since being back in Queensland, and we knew that we wanted to get all of our mods and stuff done whilst we were here. Again, I think that's going to be more your department, but I'm sure I'll be in it somewhere. We are going to do a dedicated episode to what we're doing with our build on the Hilux, which will be coming soon.
And a walk through the van.
Yes, and a walk through the van. Okay, I think we're going to start to wrap this up because we have been going for a long time. Yep. Okay.
I'm just going to check any other questions.
Okay, I'm just going to bang on. The new van. Got to say, so excited. We absolutely love it. It is a completely different setup to what we had, and we are going to show you through real soon. We have got to do a big shout out to Trail Caravans.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Thanks to the team up there. Oh, got to say, 110%.
Yep.
So, yeah, if you guys are needing a new van, thinking of...
And who else?
And who else?
MT.
Oh, well, let's...
Okay.
That's a secret.
Okay.
He didn't say that. We're going to get onto that. Got to say, if you're in the market for maybe an upgrade or something, check out Trail Caravans. I will also post the link below for their website and socials.
Or if you're in the process for mods for your car, chat to Wayne at TWD 4x4 at Cooper Plains.
Cooper's Plains in Brisbane. They are also all around Australia as well. But yeah, we went through Wayne and the team there. But yeah, Trail Caravans definitely will look after you 110%. They are very... you're good at these words. I just bang on. Whatever your needs are, they're going to be able to find something for you. We're absolutely in love with this rig.
Yeah, they have everything from little small hybrids.
Yeah.
All the way to dual axle.
Oh, big ones.
Yeah. Big ones. And one we looked at when we were in the process.
Yeah, I think
that was 3.7 tonne.
I think maybe when we get a Silverado, maybe. Who knows? Just saying, maybe in the future.
I just want to, my final comment, just to all the narcissistic people out there who want to send horrible comments and say horrible things.
Yeah.
You have a boring, pathetic life. And you don't need to watch our channel. If you don't like it, just flick to the next one.
Yeah.
But for people out there that have been following, you'll see I will reply to people and say you're a narcissistic troll.
Yeah, we have
check out
copped a
who
lot.
they are.
We've copped a lot lately, and it has been really yeah, it's just so negative. But anyway, we don't want to touch on any of that anymore.
Just
they're negative.
I know who you are. I check you out. I have a look at stuff. and then I'll send you the comment.
Yeah.
So if you're a narcissistic troll, see you later.
And everyone's different. Again, if you don't like the way I talk, then move it on. Skip. If you don't like the way that Mr. B is pretty quiet, even though you've been chatterbox today, move on.
Yep.
We're doing this to help the people that are maybe thinking of doing what we're doing. You know what? We're no bloody paid actors or anything. And the thing too is, as everybody knows that's doing this as well, there's a lot of actually effort that gets put into this, a lot of time and effort. And you know, I'm not a paid actress or anything. If I want to have a cry, I'm crying because I'm actually emotional. I have feelings, and this is who we are. But we don't need to explain. This is who we are. If you don't like our channel, move it on. Anyway, that's the negative. The positive. Did we buy a lotto ticket?
We
did. Buy a lotto ticket? We did. Did we win? No, we didn't. We didn't, guys. We didn't. But you know what? We don't care. We don't care because you know what? We have got all the luck in the world because we are here and we've got you guys that are watching us and following us every week. And thank you so much for all this is when I'm going to get all the genuine comments from you guys, from our week-to-week followers, from when we started our first ridiculous video,
which I think we had eight views,
to how we've just progressed. Thank you so much. We read every single comment. We do. We've been bombarded in the last couple of weeks, so if we have missed you, please don't think we don't love you or haven't read your message, because we have, and we talk about it. Mr. B and I talk about it. And
I mean, on the YouTube, I think the last time I checked there was 373 messages.
That's a lot for us.
And then to read them and then reply, and then on our other social medias, Facebook, Instagram and stuff, we also get messages as well. So Facebook, we've been inundated.
We thank you.
Instagram been inundated. And
everyone's caring for us. Everyone's had general, a real generosity. A huge shout out, and you guys, know who you are. For the people that have been generous financially, even with if it's that product that we've needed or gone, hey, will this help you? And we've had people sending us some bits and bobs. We've had a couple of super thanks, which I didn't even really know was a thing, so thank you to those people. It has meant a lot. And if you are there going, oh my goodness, I do want to reach out and help you guys, all I'm going to say is, if you haven't and you've made it this far, maybe hit subscribe, or maybe just watch the ads.
The ads are the thing that help YouTubers progress. So you can skip the ads, but
if you watch the ads, that's helping our channel.
It helps a lot to channel. I know a lot of you may have YouTube Premium where you have no ads,
but that still helps.
And that still helps.
And that's honestly, we thank you, and that's all we need. So on that note, I think
I'll just finish off. We are going to have a giveaway coming up.
We are.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we've got heaps coming up.
So we'll release that in the next episode or two. And the way that will work is we'll ask some questions and someone will be given something, and we will announce that across all our social medias when it's drawn. And
you've got a fair bit coming up too.
But you just got to watch. So if you watch and you want to enter,
we'll keep you updated
we'll
anyway.
Explain the whole simple process, and then someone will end up with some goodies, or a goodie.
Absolutely. Alrighty. On that note, we've got some. We've actually got to head out now because we've got a couple of appointments with mods for the Hilux, and we've got a few other things that we've got to organise moving forward. And you, big boy, you've got to get organised. Next week we will be back. It is going to be completely different to this episode. We hope this never ever happens to anyone. We hope no one has to go through what we've been through. But as Mr. B always says,
go on adventures, have fun. Number one, always be safe.
And we'll see you next Sunday.